Bringing a character to life and working with a cast and, you know, getting to step in the shoes of someone else, even for a brief time, is just the greatest. So I think that that probably would be the one. Hi, my name's Kelly Nicholson. I'm an actor, writer, director, singer, filmmaker, cat enthusiast, all of it.
Photography, maybe?
Oh yeah, and I run a photography and videography business here in Wollongong and in the Southern Highlands called Life is Productions.
What made you go into your fields of performance and creation?
I always enjoyed doing it when I was younger. Funnily enough, I never actually thought I was good enough to be an actor. I always wanted to sing and I always loved music. And I did have dreams of acting, but I just always thought I was absolutely rubbish at it. So I sort of gave it a go again later in my life, in my late teens, and really enjoyed it. And I thought I just really liked working with people and being creative. And I just can't imagine doing anything else now. It's such a big part of my life that I just don't think I would enjoy my life as much if I didn't have it in there. So basically, I wanted to be a filmmaker from my early 20s, and I really loved the idea of like the, you know, guerrilla style filmmaking. You just go out there, you shoot it yourself, you get some friends together, you just get some equipment, you do that. So I got some equipment and started doing that, and then it kind of occurred to me, you know, why didn't I try to offer services that I thought would be important, and as an actor myself would enjoy being able to get. So for example, I started doing headshots for actors because there's not a whole lot of that down here in Wollongong. You'd have to travel up to Sydney to do that. And I really love meeting people and I love working with creatives. So I just started offering these headshots and it sort of kept growing from there. I started doing photography and video for local theatre companies because I was already a part of them as an actor. And I just started meeting more people through that kind of side and through the short film. So it all kind of is hand in hand at this point. I never really anticipated it I never anticipated that it would be something that I would do so much and for so long, but same kind of thing. I love the fact that, you know, I can say that this is the job that I do, and then it's just gonna keep growing from here.
Which of all your talents do you find to be the one you're most passionate about?
I think the one that I'm most it actually changes, interestingly enough. So right now, I'm the most passionate about music and songwriting. I think it's because it was on the back burner for like a long time, but it was the first love that I ever had, which is really interesting. Like I was singing since I could talk, and I was writing songs since I was really, really little. Like my parents can attest to the fact that I would just write songs about like such childish things like candy, of course, because I'm a sugar fiend, and like all those kind of things, probably like my pets and things like that. But yeah, it's kind of put on the back burner for such a long time because I started theatre and I started the business, and then I've just been working in that time. And I haven't unfortunately done any musicals in quite a while, so I haven't been able to really get out there and sing much. So I find that it's kind of my happy place at the moment. So right now the passion is music, but for the longest time it's been like film and writing. Acting I'm definitely doing more of now as well, which is really lovely. Like I'm in some productions now. I did get to do some film work last year, even though things kind of were a little bit slow. Some nice projects did come out of last year. So yeah, definitely music and acting right now.
The last time you did a musical, I believe, was Jurassic in 2014?
I think it was, which is insane to think because it doesn't feel like it was that long ago. But yeah, I think that it was, and what a blast it was. Like the funnest show, and like, yeah, one of the funnest kind of roles that I've gotten to do.
Open my eyes to a different idea, what life can be with you standing near. Is this a new species?
Right now, now, I am in production for Romeo and Juliet, which is an all-female cast, as well as Macbeth, which is a mixed cast. We're doing this as a project for the Dyer Theatre. Basically, it's a Shakespeare troupe that will be showing at the Wollongong Workshop Theatre in early March. And basically our goal is to just develop these shows and really put our own kind of twists on these fantastic plays, and then tour them around schools for educational purposes.
Where's the Wollongong Workshop Theatre?
You know what? The suburb escapes me. Is it Thirroul?
No.
I know it's Wollongong, buddy.
We're in it now.
Yeah, we're in it right now.
That's what I was...
These white walls, they're going to be famous after we've premiered Romeo and Juliet and Macbeth.
Who are your biggest inspirations?
My biggest inspirations? I would say Phoebe Waller-Bridge is definitely up there. She's probably my biggest inspiration right now. So she is the creator of Fleabag, which is this like phenomenal series. She wrote it, she stars in it. She's basically everything that I aspire to be as a creator. I really love the writing aspect, but I also like the idea of being involved in the production, whether that's directing or acting, and just the kind of content that she writes, just, you know, real kind of people stories, talking about those kind of darker emotions and the human psyche and stuff I find really interesting, but just making really relatable content that can also be, you know, that darker kind of side, but also have humor in it as well, I find really interesting. So she's probably my biggest inspiration right now. In terms of like acting inspiration, I think Kristen Wiig is fantastic. I love like her comedy style. I'm not that big of a comedy actor, but I would like to be more in, go towards that style a little bit more. But I just love that, you know, she does improv. She's a fantastic comedy actress, but she also is fantastic when it comes to the dramatic side. So she's definitely like an acting inspiration. Music-wise, I love Kate Miller-Heidke. She's excellent. Talking about comedy, like a lot of her songs are beautiful and really do have a lot of relatable topics, but they definitely can be quite funny. She's like...
Did she do the one that you did a cover of?
She is, yeah, that's her.
Well, I'm putting that clip in there.
Yeah, sorry.
And now you wanna be my friend on Facebook. Are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah, so she is a fantastic Australian musician. She's been making music for such a long time, but she's got this beautiful voice. She's very funny. Her songs are absolutely brilliant, and so I basically listen to her every day right now. Other than her, Ingrid Michaelson I've loved for years and years. She might have even been like one of my first kind of music obsessions.
What have been the biggest highlights of your creative life?
The biggest highlights have definitely been, I would say the biggest highlights have been like the festivals that we've been involved in. It's kind of amazing when you get to see your film on a screen and you get to show it to people and say like that it was featured and that people you don't even know got to come and watch that. One of them was the Short and Sweet Film Festival. That was really fun because I had a couple of friends that were also involved in the festival. So, you know, their short getting played alongside mine was really cool. I met a couple of connections through that festival as well, which is really neat. It was very cool to have other filmmakers message me and be like, I saw your film, like this is this project that I'm working on if you want to join. So that's like a really cool thing. Meeting all the fantastic people that I have is another highlight. There's so many wonderful friends that are like in my close friend group now that I've met through film projects, and that I just love working with. So that's definitely another highlight. It's just something that is the funnest thing that I do. Like I can spend an entire day doing it and feel exhausted, but feel so happy that that's how I'm spending my time. So that's probably like my overall like best kind of moment or best reason for doing things. I definitely am really proud of Shakespeare, which is like an all-female Shakespeare group that I'm a part of with a bunch of other fantastic performers. I think that is a really great project, and it means a lot because it's basically giving us opportunities to play roles that we never really dreamed of. Like I've personally gotten to play, this is my second time playing Tybalt, the Prince of Cats, which is just so appropriate for me. Oh my God. This is my second time now playing that role. And, you know, I get to be this like sword wielding dude that gets in fist fights and is just like the most powerful person when they walk on the stage. And that's just so different to really anything I've gotten to play before. So that's kind of what that group really represents, just giving these opportunities and, you know, showing these kind of productions in a different light and from a you know, a female perspective, which is really interesting.
What are your goals beyond this point?
My goals, so my near goal, so for this year is to create a teaser short for a television series that I'm writing. So it's a zombie series about two girls that work in retail, and the apocalypse happens and they just decide to kill everyone they're not a fan of. So my near kind of goal is to create a teaser for that, and then start like pitching that to try and get some kind of funding or some kind of distribution. And then after that, like the goals are, you know, just keep making things, like just keep working with people. You know, if you can make money out of it, that's fantastic. But if I can just live and create the things that I want to create and meet the people I want to work with, then that's basically what that is.
Series, you said? Not movie?
No, so I decided, it's gone back and forth, unfortunately, but it's just kind of happened that way in the writing process. It started as I wanted to write a feature. I felt that it was a series. I thought, no, I really want to make a feature above all. And then having finished the feature, kind of realizing that I have to let the project be what it is, and it's a series. Like it just, in terms of the way that the story can be told the best, it's a series. So like the goal is I would really like to make a feature film in the next few years. That's kind of just been a dream for a really long time, especially because like the majority of the content that I watch is like features, and a lot of my, you know, inspirational content is films. But yeah, so it's a short episode kind of series. Watching something like Fleabag with these fantastic like 20-minute episode 20-minute episodes just makes me feel like that kind of story can be told in that shorter form, in bite-sized pieces, and I just think that'd be an interesting way to tell the story.
What is some advice you feel like you could give people entering any of your fields?
I would say just be kind to everyone. Everyone is doing it for the love. There's generally no money at the start, and just being nice and respectful goes such a long way. Realizing that, you know, working with people is how these things get made. Like, we're all doing it for the love of it, and we're putting our time in. So just, yeah, be kind, be appreciative of the projects that come your way. Know what you want to be a part of and what you want to do. I think sometimes we do just say yes to any project, maybe if we don't like mingle quite well with everyone. Just have fun. Like it's all about you having fun. Like, yeah, it's a job, and you know, it's amazing if that's your job and that's what you get paid to do. That's fantastic. But yeah, just have fun and pursue the things that excite you and that you're passionate about. And if that's a particular story, if that's a character, just do that, and just do it with complete confidence. And which is hard to say, but yeah, it comes through in anything. Just, yeah, enjoy it and have fun and make friends, because that's the whole point.
Favourite character you've played?
If you say Tybalt, I kill you.
It's tricky. I have really liked playing Tybalt though. What's my favorite character? We've spoken about this recently and I've forgotten what my answer was. Yeah, I feel like I've got like two answers to that. So my favorite character in terms of like how challenging it was and how different it was to kind of anything I'd done to that point, but also just like the fact of saying it. I love that I got to play Juliet once. Like I think that's great. I think that's so cool.
Gallop apace, you fiery-footed steed, towards Phoebus' lodging. Such a Wagner as Phaeton would whip you to the west and bring in cloudy night immediately. Spread thy close curtain, love-performing night that runaways' eyes may wink. And Romeo, leap to these arms untalked of and unseen.
Hilariously, I'm in Romeo and Juliet again, and at 19 I played Juliet, and at 26 I'm Juliet's mother. So that's that's interesting. So I think, you know, doing Shakespeare, you feel like a proper actor when you've done Shakespeare. Like it feels right. So playing Juliet was definitely really awesome in that way. And then on a like totally other end of the spectrum, playing Ellie Sattler in Jurassic Park the Musical was just a hell of a lot of fun. Like I got to sing, that was fantastic. It was a comedy, so there was lots of laughing. The other performers were brilliant. It's a great show. And I really just enjoyed just how kind of fun it was, and being able to sing and dance. Like I love doing that so much. So it was a bit of a dream to do that.
What would you say your personal style of filmmaking is, and what do you feel like you can bring to the medium?
I think that my personal style comes from the writing. Like, I feel like the kinds of stories that I like to tell, kind of like what I was touching on before, the stories that I like to tell are definitely more about like people's situations and their relationships with the world around them, their relationships with other people. Like this short film that I made called The Mug in the Milk Carton, which starred a fantastic local actor named Dylan Horvat, just incredible, who just nailed the role, like perfect. Didn't have to really direct him. Was just this like really simple story, just about like someone being lonely and just wanting a friend, and just sort of like a glimpse into their life. For a really long time, I didn't use like dialogue. I just really liked to tell the story through like expression and through like, you know, silent interactions with people or like with the environment, things like that. So I think that's kind of what's a little bit different about me. I think my style is a little bit quirky. I don't shy away from those kind of like darker concepts like depression or sadness, because it's all so relatable. We can all understand that as people. And I think that being able to show that kind of stuff, maybe with a lighter kind of side to it, maybe a bit of humor or dark humor, is really interesting. And I know that I love watching that kind of content, so I really like making that content. And I think it's a little bit different. Like you don't see it that often. And I suppose what I think that I would bring to the medium is, you know, that kind of style that I said isn't quite everywhere. It's definitely there, but it's not all over the place. I think that, you know, bringing more awareness to that kind of side, like mental health and, you know, just talking about things like, you know, those kind of relationships is really important. And, you know, women in film, let's keep pushing, let's keep going. Like, let's make it so that there's that many roles that are filled by ladies. I love that, you know, I can say that I'm a confident female filmmaker that tries to write good female roles and meet other female filmmakers or actors or producers and just work together, and then working with other creatives that have that kind of thought as well. Like I recently did a short film last year with another very talented individual named Jared Sleeman, but also two other beautiful people, Lisa Kowalski and Jonathan Adams, and we made a film together for like a Women in Film Festival project where, you know, I was the cinematographer and the editor, and Lisa was our lead actor and producer, and we just wanted to make content for that exact purpose, to be like, we made a really cool film and look how many girls were in it. That was good. That was a long answer. Sorry.
How far have you come since you started, and did you ever expect it?
Funnily enough, my dream when I was in high school was just to be in the ensemble in community theatre. I honestly thought that I would have a hard time doing that, and that, you know, seeing those productions and those people in it, I just thought that was the greatest thing ever, and I just wanted to be a part of it so bad. And now that I'm a part of so many brilliant groups, and you know, I've done a lot of different productions and met a lot of people, and that I get asked, you know, to be a part of such brilliant things, I can't even, like, when I imagine what I used to think about it and how much I wanted to be involved, it doesn't feel like the same person. And in terms of like the filmmaking and acting side, like when I first started trying to act, I thought, oh, I don't think this acting thing is for me. I just thought I was so terrible at it. And then I just kept trying and kept trying to work on it, and, you know, talk to my actor friends and tried to get advice. I definitely have my doubts sometimes, but I'm really proud of some of the performances that I have done.
I am sick of that stubborn, bloody, stupid husband of mine hanging on to me like a leech.
And then in the filmmaking side, I went to film school with no idea of what I wanted to do. By that point, I had decided I wanted to be an actor, and I thought, let's just go to school and see if I like anything else. And I hated my first year. It was horrible. I couldn't find my place, and I didn't know what I wanted to do aside from acting. And then in my second year, something just clicked, and I was like, you know what? I love writing, and I love directing, and I love producing, and I also love editing. Who would have thought? And so I just suddenly found my place, and I was like, you know what? All of these things link so well together. So, you know, coming from being like a late teen, sort of knowing kind of what they wanted, but feeling like they didn't really belong, to being involved in these amazing groups, and then having these, you know, projects that I am pretty proud of and I think have a lot of potential, is a massive jump, big difference.
Is there any form of creativity you haven't tried yet that you'd be interested in trying?
So I've had like a small taste of directing for theatre. Like I was an assistant director for a show. I think that I might want to try directing a theatre production. I think that could be fun and could definitely be interesting. I always like the idea of like art, so I like to paint, and I have these dreams of, you know, making pottery and doing all these really cool things. So I think that might be something I explore a little bit more.
What do you feel makes you unique as a performer?
I feel like the fact that I do have a bit of experience behind the camera for film acting, for example, does give me a bit of an idea of something that I would like, you know, to capture in a performance, just because I know what I might want to see if I was the cinematographer or the director. So I think that definitely helps in that kind of area. And then from a characterization perspective, I do like to think that, you know, my sense of humor or the experiences that I've had kind of can be, you know, put into a character and give me maybe some unique ideas as to motivations that I might have for things, or maybe little moments that I can create that might not have existed in the writing, but, you know, that are interesting at the time. For example, I'm in Macbeth at the moment, and one of the characters that I play is almost non-verbal. He doesn't really talk much at all, but he's on stage quite a lot. His name's Donald Vane, of course, play Donald Vane, and he's basically the little brother of Malcolm and the youngest son of King Duncan in Macbeth. And so he basically is on stage quite often from the beginning of the play, but has no dialogue for the most part. And, you know, I really just wanted to make playing this character more fun for myself, but more interesting to watch. And also kind of one of the ideas that I was talking about before where, you know, I think dark content is fantastic, like horror and, you know, playing on those kind of more sinister parts of like the, you know, human psyche and things like that, like, you know, ideas of murder and betrayal and all that is really fun to do. But I love the idea of contrasting it with a bit of humor, like a lighter side, because it's more interesting. And so for this character, you know, in this really intense dark play, I've made him a bit of a comedic character. So even in the moments that I'm silent and not speaking, I'm interacting with all the characters around me. So I'll be making like little, you know, jabs at my brother, who's played by Lisa Omide, who is another fantastic performer. And I basically decided that my teenage boy character is obsessed with Lady Macbeth and in love with her. So anytime they're on stage together, he's just dreaming of their marriage. Like it's funny, and it comes across to the audience as this really cute, funny young boy who previously just would have been on stage, you know, part of the ensemble, but this gives him more of a life and it gives him more of a purpose. So I like to think that, you know, little ideas like that in a character, you know, previously that didn't really have much to do, can just come to life in a different way.
If you had to pick one of your art forms for the rest of your life, what would you pick?
One of my art forms. Oh man, that's so hard because I love all of them. I think if it could only be one, it probably would be acting. I think so. You know, even though I love doing all of them and they all are basically hand in hand at this point, like my future, I'm hoping, looks like, you know, writing and directing and acting in the same kind of project. Yeah, bringing a character to life and working with a cast and, you know, getting to step in the shoes of someone else, even for a brief time, is just the greatest. So I think that probably would be the one. Hi, my name is Kelly Nicholson. It's been so wonderful getting to talk to you about all the things that I love and getting to talk to people that I also love. Stay tuned for the next episode where you get to hear from some other cool people.
No, the next episode is me and you.
Oh, right. Okay. Oh yeah, because it's two-parter. Hi, my name's Kelly Nicholson. Thank you so much for watching this video and for listening to me talk about myself and all the things that I love. Stay tuned for the next episode where we get to talk about lots of other cool things. Enjoy your day.